There is a role for specific supplements, particularly for women, and creatine is one of those. And the reason I say that is as with anything, we kind of always want to weigh the risk to benefit ratio. And with creatine in particularly, it's low cost and has minimal risk with potentially high benefit. I'm a big believer in whole foods, but in reality, particularly women, you just can't eat enough and get everything through food. And so, when I started in this business and I was a college athlete, I didn't believe in supplements. And let me tell you, I had a lot of injuries and poor recovery. There is a role for specific supplements, particularly for women, and creatine is one of those. And the reason I say that is as with anything, we kind of always want to weigh the risk to benefit ratio. And with creatine in particularly, it's low cost and has minimal risk with potentially high benefit. And what are those benefits? I mean, I think if we talk about active women, there are some performance benefits, meaning you can do a little extra volume. I'm not super, okay, great. Like that's cool. But it's all the other benefits. So for actually one study just came out that if you combine creatine with resistance training, it's particularly beneficial for maintaining and possibly increasing bone mineral density in women. And so, beyond some of the other supplements, it's effective for increasing muscle mass, which has a direct relation to, health and quality of life. I think it's very fascinating to see the potential benefit on mood and brain. And so there's some interesting data that shows that in low-grade anxiety and depression, creatine actually helps SSRIs work better or just helps improve those symptoms. And so, we know those symptoms are higher in women. And so creatine could be one of those first lines of defense to help women feel better mentally. I'm here for that, right? Anything that's natural. So that's an element too to think about. And, there's a couple other things, but those would be the top. And, one study that we just looked at too, there is no weight gain in women, and that's been consistently showed. But we particularly looked at it across the menstrual cycle because there are weight fluctuations across the menstrual cycle. And creatine does not cause it's about a 0.5 pound increase. And it's actually a beneficial 0.5 pound. What we noticed is that it helps pull water into the muscle, which may have some implications for preventing dehydration. And most of us are dehydrated. And so there is no downside to it, particularly too when you look at all of the potential benefits and the cost.
I was just going to say, you took the words out of my mouth, in terms of the benefits versus the very, very low cost, would this be your number one supplement for women to take? Or are there others that are going to have, I guess it's sort of a cumulative effect, right? What, aside from creatine, if it is top, what else would you have in your list?
Yeah, I know. I do. Creatine is often the top, particularly I think the element that I always like to bring up is your body makes creatine from, different amino acids in the body, but it's hard to eat that much protein to get the same. And so I also realize that most women don't like, the sedentary, powder at the bottom of a glass. And so depending on the woman, maybe I wouldn't recommend that first, depending on, her introduction into the supplement world, but it would be one of the top. I would say some not lower risk, but I would say less scary ones. Vitamin D is very essential for women. And then omega-3, those would be kind of my top ones just to start out. But then obviously there are others that I would recommend.